everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the Gamers Rundown podcast. I'm your host Gallifrey Madman, and I'm joined by my sidekick Dirty Ewok 75. Say hello, Ewok.
Good evening, troops. How are we?
Uh, so you might have noticed we haven't actually posted a podcast in a couple of weeks, and that's entirely Ewok's fault.
I wish it's all my fault. This is kind of a shared responsibility. Life gets in the way, age gets in the way when the grey matter kind of fails you and you forget things from time to time.
And you physically got injured, so of course you're. Now I would have loved to have done the podcast while you were high on drugs. That would have been fun.
No, it wasn't relevant. The funniest and the most strangest thing about that, I do quite a labour-intensive job, a lot of heavy lifting and stuff, and that's not what hurt my back. I'd been to work that day, everything was going fine, I hadn't hurt myself that I was aware of, and then 11:30 at night, I stood up. I'd been doing some gaming, I stood up to walk out the room, I thought, I feel a bit off here. I got about 2 steps down the stairs, then realised, no, there's something wrong. Got to the bottom, loads of pain, realised that I could stretch and bend backwards, but I couldn't physically bend forwards. I couldn't even move forwards, from the waist up. Had to call my wife back from my friends in a bit of a panic. So it's been a bit strange. Off work for a few weeks. I think it's going to be a few weeks more. It's really weird. Unless you hurt your back, maybe you don't really understand how much you rely on it. It's kind of weird. Even doing the simplest things, walking down the street or something, it's like somebody just jabbing a knife in your spine when you least expect it. It's very, very strange feeling to have. But the first week or so, I was a bit out of it. But which to everyone else would probably make me normal. Well, let's be honest. But I'm back on track now.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting back into the swing of things and try to get my head straight. But I'm here. That's what's important. Gally can't have a go at me. I am here, and just for the record, I was here, and he made me wait. He made me wait while he was doing some kind of update. However, he did send me a nice photo of a lady in lingerie just to keep me busy while he was sorting his business out. I don't know if that's his new missus.
No.
He wishes.
No, I don't.
No. It's all good. It's all good. I'm here. We're here. You're here. Hey.
A happy life is one with no wife.
Mine's out of earshot, so yes. I'll say yes, but no, it's not true. It's definitely not true. Just in case it happens to
I'm a happier man without it, so
yeah.
Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. But anyway, so we're back here, and I know it's been over for a while, but we're gonna cover what we saw with the Sony press conference at E3 and touch probably on a few other things from some of the other conferences. We're not going to go into detail with them, just something that may have interested us or thought was interesting. But to start it off, we're just going to jump right into the E3 for Sony, who opened up. I don't know. They opened up their show really weird with that whole musical montage by the campfire type thing. What, I don't know.
I didn't. It had to really. I don't know. It's like sat in the audience because again, it's pretty much like the Xbox One. It was kind of one of these things where it opened up and there wasn't this massive volume of cheers and way. They were a bit more excited than the Xbox ones. I'll give them that. But I don't know. You think if you got these events, they seem a lack of energy. So I don't know whether they've been sat there for quite a while waiting for this to actually kick off. But I totally agree with you. I thought the start of it was a bit odd. I don't know. I don't know what the direction with it was.
It was like they were going for a lot of I don't know, live action on screen or on stage to go with what was on the screen. And it was
Yeah.
You noticed it in a couple of things, but I mean, basically, what they opened up the show and they went. I'm sorry, what was the first game they showed? Was it Lost Legacy?
Uncharted, yeah,
Yeah,
Uncharted Lost Legacy,
yeah.
uh, which I'm looking forward to. I'll admit I am, but I
For
did
me,
like.
the main thing going for that game is the fact that it's basically now centered around Claudia Black, and she could talk to me all day. I don't care.
um, Uncharted's one of these games. I think it kind of defined a lot about PS4 gaming. Now, mechanics and stuff have been used in other games. You can't deny that. But the whole series, I think, I mean, I didn't pick it up until 4. That's when I got my
I still haven't
PlayStation
played
up
it.
to the fourth one. The fourth one was out. Um,
I have it, just haven't played it.
you haven't played it?
No.
Well, see, my little brother actually gave me the collection, which obviously go 1 to 3. And I've played a little bit of 1. I'm thinking, oh, this is so clunky. Because obviously I started at 4. But I'm determined to work through it because the story's really good. But even if you jump in just straight on Uncharted 4, you don't necessarily lose the story. There's enough there. You can pick it up without having to play the first 3. And it is an enjoyable game. A little bit repetitive sometimes.
I don't know. I think
But
what annoyed me the most about the Uncharted series was the Drake and Elena
but
relationship.
the cinematics.
No, no, no. Just the way they played out their relationship throughout the 3 games, it annoyed me.
Well, see, I haven't played the other 3, so
I
for
know
me
that's
it
why I'm not
was.
going to go into detail.
All right, for me it was just the 4th one. The game itself, the Lost Legacy. Obviously, they've gone on a different tangent with the story,
Hmm.
and I'm not too caught up in the story. To be honest, I don't know if it's like kind of a parallel. This is after Uncharted 4. I think as far as that.
I don't know yet. I
Yeah,
haven't looked into great details about it. I know the character was introduced in number 3. She came into the picture with with another person,
right.
and so she's already an established character. So it's not like they're introducing somebody new. People already know who her character is.
Okay.
Excuse me, but it's I don't know. I think now with everybody's always making the comparisons between Uncharted and Tomb Raider. I think for now it's like, okay, now you're
That
getting a
was the
British
one.
girl
That's the one
doing
with
all
the
this
same
stuff. It's like, wow,
mechanics.
you're going to
Right.
get even more
Yeah.
comparisons.
Yeah. There's 2 games that have the same mechanics, and that's it. No, obviously Uncharted from Naughty Dog. The one thing about this game that the big selling point is the playability and visuals. The visuals are fantastic on it. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you put it on the PS4 and it really makes the most of what the PS4 can give you. I can't, in 4K, I imagine it'd be even more astounding. But visually, you can't be disappointed with Uncharted 4. And for Uncharted Lost Legacy, from what we've seen so far, it's more of the same and a little bit more.
They're good games. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the Uncharted series,
There
and
is.
well, as far as games, the type of game they are, there's nothing wrong with them as far as
There
which
is.
is better between that and Tomb Raider and all this other stuff.
There's one thing that's wrong with it.
What's that?
Well, Uncharted 4 is the multiplayer. It is terrible.
Well, I don't play the multiplayer in those games. I
It's
don't.
it's
It's like
shocking.
it's like
It's the one thing that
you
actually
don't.
lets it down.
It's like
Um,
Batman. You don't buy Batman for a multiplayer. I think that was part of the downfall of Batman Origins. Um, and this people don't buy those games traditionally for the multiplayer. I know there's a lot of people who still like the multiplayer. They think the multiplayer is good for Uncharted 4 because there's still people who are big time into the Last of Us multiplayer. Uh, but
I've got that, but I've never played the multiplayer on it.
I've got the game. I've still yet to actually play much farther than a half an hour because I'm one of those people that the game The Last of Us just bored the hell out of me. It just
Okay.
bored me to death, and I was just
See,
I haven't picked it back up yet.
I got it when I got the PS4 because just as I got the PS4, it was kind of being re-released, and I talked about how it was one of these classic games from the PS3.
Yeah,
And I thought, oh, I'll give it a go.
I bought I bought
You
it
know,
too, only
I
because it
quite
was
enjoy it.
$5. So
No, I do quite enjoy it. Uncharted multiplayer, it's not even worth looking at. I really hope they don't have it in this new one because in
oh, they
Uncharted
will.
4,
They will.
it just felt forced. It didn't feel like a natural part of the game. Obviously other games, use different studios for doing multiplayer and stuff, but it all kind of ties in. This didn't feel right because of, I think it's because of the game, the way the story goes and the way the character develops. It's not a sort of scenario you would find them in. So no, that is what it is. But this new one, Lost Legacy, is looking good,
It
and
looks
I
well.
think it'll
It's
be a
Naughty Dog.
massive.
Naughty Dog
Yeah,
doesn't make bad looking games.
yeah. I mean,
But if you give me my choice, I will take the new rebooted Tomb Raider series over the Uncharted series any day. I just prefer the story
okay,
to that. I
interesting.
especially love the new Laura Croft.
She is lovely, is she not?
Yeah, I think it's a very good reboot. They didn't try and just do the same thing that was already done. They went back to her origins, which is I think was great. They
Well,
they they gave a story behind Lara Croft with these new games. Where
yeah,
Drake had his story. They even
yeah.
told his origins of when he met Sully and all this stuff in the games. So it's just I think it was a really good reboot, and I mean, if it came to the original Tomb Raiders against Uncharted, I'd go Uncharted. But with the new reboots and the new games for Tomb Raider, I have to go with Tomb Raider. I get deeper and more, I don't know, immersed into the story of the Tomb Raider.
And the one thing about the new Tomb Raider games as well is you don't have to sit there for X amount of time mucking about with your controller or your D-pad trying to get the perfect angle to look at her boobs, because they're there.
They're there.
You don't have to worry about that. They are
Yep.
there. So those days of sitting in your room when you're a young adolescent
Yeah.
trying to get that cracking shot of her arse or her boobs, you don't have to worry about it. There's plenty of cinematics
And
for
they're
that.
not so sharp that they're going to poke your eyes out anymore.
No, they're not. No, no, no. They're not.
But
Okay.
next one on the list is something I was completely excited for, and here's the funny part: is it's not an actual game; it's just
No, it's not.
DLC.
Yes, it is.
And I cannot. I really need to finish this game just so I can get into the
Do you know what?
DLC.
We spoke about this before, and I was so excited about it coming out, and I got it, and I know you had to restart it because your thing, your PlayStation, but I've barely touched it. I don't know what it is. I pick it up,
I
I
know
play
I'm the
it, and
same way.
I don't know, I get bored. I've got to be in the right mood
Not
to play
me,
it.
not me.
But
Once I get into the game, when
yeah,
I first start playing it, it's like, it's just okay. Because it's most of the stuff I'm doing is stuff I already done. Is because I upgraded from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro, and when I got rid of the PS4, I forgot all about my save files. And
yes,
because I game share with my son, my PS4 Pro is not my primary.
primary.
I'm not the primary account on it. So if you don't have primary account on the PS4, your save data can't automatically be updated to the cloud. And I did not realize that, and so I lost all of my data for Event Horizon,
Yeah,
the
we
movie
haven't actually said what the game is yet. Sorry, we are talking about Horizon
Horizon
Zero
Zero
Dawn,
Dawn,
and
and
the upcoming DLC, Frozen Wilds.
yeah. So I just so I'll start playing it, and it's like, but then it's like, okay, yeah, let's go. Yep, killing the bandits, all this stuff, and I'm
Mhm.
totally into it. The problem is I have a hard time starting the game up because generally I'll get people, oh, hey, want to do a raid on Destiny or want to want to do the Nightfall, and it's like I
Got
end
to
up on
learn just to
Destiny, and
say
it's like
no, Tom.
I
Just say
know, I
no.
know.
Okay, you're a big boy
Well,
now.
it's
You
easier
should
now
be
that
able to
I
say
can I
no.
can say no a lot easier now because I'm actually 400 light, so I reached the
Yeah, but
top
you
level.
don't. You won't. You're like Matt, just sat there, fucking
No, no,
eyes stapled open on Destiny. Um,
no, no, no. I because I have actually. I've actually stopped playing Destiny as much. I started playing a game that I absolutely loved, which is the one and only game I ever 100% completed on Xbox, and that was Murdered Soul Suspects. And a lot of people
I
say it's
have
a horrible game. I
it's in
love
my
that game.
library.
It's one of my favorite games, and so when it was on for a ridiculously cheap price for this mid-year sale on PS4, I bought it and I started playing it again just because I love that game. And it's real sad that the developer closed up shop, so unless somebody buys the IP, we ain't ever gonna get a sequel to it. And it's just
Yeah, I'm right early on into it. In the hotel, and you there's like ghost things going through the wall and stuff. I'm quite early on.
well, the
Um,
thing that makes it easy to get all of the trophies or achievements, depending on which system you're played on,
mm,
is the fact that um, the game only relies on you to do everything in the game, collect everything, do all the scenarios. There's no achievements or trophies for anything on multiplayer or all this other ridiculous stuff. It's just straight out forward. If you do everything you're supposed to do in the game, you're going to get every achievement or trophy. And that's the only reason why the game is so ridiculously easy to 100%.
but back to Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, kind of get drifted off there. Okay, Horizon Zero Dawn came out the PS4. Looks probably the best looking game I'd say on PS right now. I would say,
One of.
it looks absolutely astounding.
If you have, it looks phenomenal if you have a PS4
Oh,
Pro and a 4K TV. It looks
well, I have the
absolutely
normal
gorgeous.
4K, and it still looks amazing. I think it's one of these games where it's been made to be like it's almost like a showcase. Look at exactly what we can do.
Hmm.
But in addition to all that, it's actually a game as well. Frame rates are fantastic in it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't seem to lose anything.
No.
There's no sort of buggy glitches that I've noticed so far. And the way in which the days, you can't really call it weather, I suppose, but the atmospherics change is really good. It's probably one of the most, I'd say, colourful games visually that I've ever seen. And it doesn't matter what sort of blend they have, it works. Even when you're in the sort of really darkened environments, there's something about it. It doesn't feel too dark to do, obviously, what you're doing.
Hmm.
So they've brought out DLC Frozen Wilds. The size of it, looking at the size of it, and from what was shown at E4, it looks as vast as the game itself, to be honest. So I don't know if they're just going to use the existing terrain.
No, you're going to get into new areas of the map and stuff.
Oh, good.
Because it definitely what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking from what I'm seeing is if you've played the game and you've looked at your map and you've seen off in the horizon, you see that giant snake dragon-like machine that just seems to be laying across the mountaintops.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we're going.
Ooh, okay. Good.
Yeah, it's just I can't. I really gotta. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna play some Horizon Zero Dawn today. After this, I'm definitely gonna start doing something.
That's not a bad idea. All right, well. The next game is one I am looking forward to. Now, I'm not a big zombie game fan. I'll be honest. I don't very much play zombie games. I had Dying Light. I touch it really. I bought that because my brother plays it. This next one, Days Gone. Now, we saw this a while back. The sort of showcase trailer has been out there for quite a while. And also, it came up at E4. You are
E4?
Biker dude. Biker dude.
What's E4?
E4? Did I say E4?
Yes, you said E4.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. Me. Right. What are we talking about?
Days Gone.
Yes. What's the big event called?
E3.
E3. That's it. Yeah. E4. E4 is a channel in the UK.
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about there. E3, yes, E3. So it's been out for a while. It appeared at E3. You totally thrown me there. And you're basically you barbecue dudes. You got the waistcoat. You got the nice bike. You're looking for your mate. Is what we can gather from the actual trailer.
Your mechanic.
Yeah,
He's the best mechanic that's still alive.
It slowly goes. Well, I say slowly, quite rapidly from what the trailer shows or the gameplay. It goes from being everything not too bad to all of a sudden you becoming this expert in explosives and taking on hordes of zombies. And it happens. I don't know if
to me those aren't zombies though. Well, those are mutants to me.
Right. See, the thing is, right, the way the showcase happens is you come off your bike, you wander through the woods a bit, the next minute you're blowing up makeshift dams and shooting zombies. Now, I don't know how far in the game that is, because obviously they haven't said, but it seems to happen very, very quickly. And one thing I did notice about it, as good as it looks, and to have that many characters, in one area on a screen, all, looking as beautiful as it did, and was impressive, was that it just seemed a bit too quick for me. I don't know what. It just seemed a bit too quick.
Uh-huh.
How can you go from come off your bike the next minute you're happily taking on these zombies, and you see some of the cutscenes.
He didn't take on any zombies in the.
Well, you know what I mean, but
in the trailer,
you see him blowing the little damn thing.
Well, yeah, that's adding an element to the game to where you're going to be able to have tactical manipulation of the zombie hordes against the enemies, because. Of course, as normal as happens in zombie genre type games, mutant games or whatever. Like I said, to me, these aren't zombies. These are a whole different type of, because they're kind of like the 28 days later type of mutated humans, whether you want to call them zombies or whatever. It's just.
Did you find that the way in which he reacts to what he's just seen is kind of blasé?
Well, no, because you got to remember, this is the world they live in.
But is it? Because from what I get from the trailer, I don't know whether this is something that's just happened.
No, it's not something that just happens. It's right, the world. That's the world they live in. They live in a post-apocalyptic world.
He was like chatting to his mate, or he's kind of chatting to somebody about it, and I thought, man, this guy is like really calm. Considering what's just going on in front of him, he's like super calm.
Yeah, no, that's like I said. Like I said, he had the factions. You have these enemy factions that are out there that are willing to take advantage or to kill other survivors, camps or whatever. It's just it's the way it always is. And of course now there's this huge horde of zombies over here, and then there's a bunch of the enemy over here that if they see me, they're going to try and kill me and so forth. So now you've got this new tactical manipulation of the zombies. So it's like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'll do this and attract this horde, and they're going to see them because I'm going to hide. And now it's just, I think it's interesting to where you can use the zombies to your advantage. And as long as you can do it right, I mean, because if they see you, you're pretty much going to screw yourself too. But
the combat looks good. I did like the part where he comes off his bike and quite gory.
Quick time events. I think they're going to get a lot of people complaining about that because for some reason, quick time events just don't seem to are not very popular. Most people complain about quick time events. They'd rather have real time battling.
See, I don't mind the kind of the set pieces where you see all the gore and you can see it and you can sometimes look at it and go, I felt that. Do you know what I mean? I felt that. I quite enjoy that sort of stuff. I really do. So I mean that's definitely a game I am looking forward to.
They're definitely adding a stealth type of nuance to the game. Especially like when he comes through the woods and he runs on the pack of bandits there, and he sets a bear trap up to get one of them stuck in to attract the rest of them over to help him so he can get by him. So,
do you think he's like the poor man's Splinter Cell? He can't afford the fancy suits to live in the city, so he lives in the sticks and he's part of a biker gang.
I don't know.
Just I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's Splinter Cell. Maybe he's retired. Maybe that's what it
I
is.
don't think it's Sam Fisher.
Could be Sam. Maybe he's in witness protection.
But anyway, it's just another zombie game, and unless I see something to really, I've kind of fallen off the whole zombie parade there. It's
Yeah.
like I think there's been too. I didn't even do the Dying Light thing because I had no interest in it. So it's just like unless I see something very interesting in it for me, it's probably not a game that I'm gonna play soon. I'll probably end up picking it when it's in the sale bin, but not something I'm going to pick up right away. And like I said, unless there's something very interesting that piques my interest, it's just going to be another. I'll eventually someday get to it. Probably when it's on sale. But another
game,
one. I don't
oh, you
see. Yeah, see this next game. I've never was into, and
which one are you talking about here?
The next one, the next game in the list.
Well,
it's supposedly been a nice big. I guess there's a big following to this game, and
really?
It's
really.
It's never been on my radar.
I was laughing. I'm thinking, right, this is the place where you showcase the games you've got to offer, PlayStation owners, and you come out with Monster Hunter World from Capcom. Basically, you're hunting dinosaurs.
I was trying to make heads or tails of the trailer. It's like, okay, is he gonna do anything in the forest?
It's it doesn't look next gen game, and it's clunky. The game doesn't look polished, and people say, well, yeah, it's only a demo. Oh, it's E3. It's that you're kind of saying this is what the game's going to be. And I don't think it had a place I don't think it had a place there. It seems to be one of these games. They're in the middle of making it. They're not quite decided how it's going to look.
Well, it's going to be out next year.
This is kind of our idea. But I just don't. I think they've maybe gone to E3 too soon, or it's one of these games that's going to disappear into the abundance of games that are never released. I hope it doesn't get released.
Oh, it'll be released. It's already got a release date.
I just don't see points in games like this. I really, really don't. You get all these other. I suppose it's
going to be a shared world. It's going to be a shared world MMO. You're going to be. It's just a lot of games are going this way to where it's just going to be a big giant thing for everybody to play in together in this big giant sandbox. So you'll have a place to play with your friends and go monster hunting and all this other stuff. I thought the ending of the trailer was pretty weird with the setting up the fire and roasting the freaking drumstick.
What? Yeah, because it ended, and then everyone, I don't actually think it got any. There's one game on the PS4, and I'm trying to remember now. There was one, and literally there wasn't a single clap. Not a single.
Oh, that was
person.
The mouse one.
Oh yeah, mouse one. Yeah, mouse. Yeah, which we'll come at later.
Actually, there was a couple of them that were. But yeah, but
that one you mentioned, we were talking about later. Not a single person. It was complete silence. And I'm thinking the person must have take the time to make that game. He stood there and somewhere in the back of the auditorium going, "Shit, we got this wrong." But yeah, Monster Hunter Worlds. If you're a redneck,
don't go there.
Yeah, if you're a redneck and you really think you got to go hunting stuff in Jurassic Park, then crack on. Capcom for me they should stick to things like Street Fighter and stuff. Don't do anything else because you clearly can't.
No, they should not stick to Street Fighter. Street Fighter is just another freaking dead genre. Another dead game.
Yeah, but it's still going. It's still bloody going.
Yeah, I know it's still going because they keep forcing the issue. There's a reason why everybody was wondering who's going to buy Capcom because Capcom doesn't make good stuff anymore.
No, they're stuck in the 80s. Stuck in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. Do we really have to talk any more about this really horrendous game?
No.
Okay, good. Fantastic.
Next one's a remake, which I'm not sure whether I'm going to...
Okay, I didn't realize it was a remake.
It's probably one of the most popular PlayStation games ever.
All right, okay. Well, honestly, I was more of an Xbox dude.
It was on PS2. It was on PS2.
For me, it didn't light any fires for me. I didn't really sort of, I suppose, connect with what was seen on the screen. It didn't really get it for me. Um, Shadow of Colossus, fantasy game, big stone giants walking about. I don't know.
If you
You
don't
probably
know
know
if
about
you don't know the premise of the game, just stop right there because
yeah,
you're just going to
I
make
don't.
yourself seem like a fool.
I was just going to hand over to you, mate, and say, it's something you know because it's
No,
not
I
game.
don't. I don't really know much about the game. I didn't do a lot of playing of games on the PS4 once the Xbox came out. I quickly switched over and was there pretty much here and there. I'd play a PS game, but this was never one of the games I played. Mainly because I never really got into the Japanese RPG type games. I
Mhm.
still don't. This falls very much into that, like with the whole. This is why everybody was talking about the Last Guardian, waiting for the Last Guardian, which bombed. Because the Last Guardian was supposed to be the one that come after the Shadow of the Colossus and all that stuff. But I'm not going to take away from the game. Shadow of the Colossus is probably one of the most successful, one of the most highly rated PlayStation 2 games out of the entire system. It's very highly regarded. And I'm sure there's going to be people who love the fact that it's now completely remade with modern day graphics and stuff. And in playing some of the other games, I might actually take a look at the game. I might play a demo if they put out a demo, which PlayStation is good for demos. So I might do a whole demo thing, for something to play and see what it's about. Because I think I've gotten into a few other of the Japanese RPG type games now, like Near Automata. I've
Mhm.
really liked that one, which I kind of started and haven't done anything with because like I said, I have so many games I want to get to. Um, but I might take a look at it, and because we don't know a lot about it, we're not gonna go into it. But I do predict it's going to be a very successful, highly. It's going to generate a lot of revenue as far as games for PlayStation, and of course, and it's an exclusive. So
Okay.
we'll leave it there.
See?
The next game we're gonna just tell you about, and we're not gonna cover it all because we just don't care, is Call of Duty World War II. Yay, big deal. Everybody knows about it. Everybody's seen about it. It's had its own reveal. Don't
Okay.
know why it was at the Sony showcase, so whatever.
Yeah. Um. Okay.
Now they went into
This,
the big PSVR montage.
oh, you've missed a game out here. You've missed a game.
No, I haven't. What have I missed?
Yeah. Marvel versus Capcom. I thought this is one you might get excited about, actually, possibly.
I don't do fighting games.
Um. No, it's I suppose a rehashed beat 'em up, if you like. Marvel characters versus
It's not a
Capcom
rehash. It's a
characters.
continuation of the Marvel versus
Yeah.
Capcom series.
It looks all right for what it is,
Eh,
and that's about it. It's not something I'm into.
It's just
I think
it's a fighting game. I think the big thing about it is I do believe now there's the new the three players. It's a fighting game with a storyline. It's trying to compete with Injustice, which is Injustice really ticks me off because Injustice is such a fantastic story. Why do you have to envelop it into a fighting game? I never understood it, but I mean, I love the story of
that's
Injustice. I've played the first Injustice game just so I could watch the cut scenes of the. Nowadays, you don't even have to do that because you just go to YouTube and watch all the cutscenes. People have gotten a lot better at video editing, so you can watch. You pretty much watch the whole story of Injustice too.
mhm.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people who do still like the Injustice and fighting games. The series. As far as Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, it's just nowhere near as big of a genre as it used to be.
So the last beat 'em up I done was Tekken. That's that.
Yeah, which also has a new game
Tekken.
too.
Yeah, yeah. It was like Tekken 3 or something. I don't know that I played. That song goes and served on a beat up one.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's
I mean,
not for
but
me.
again, it's probably gonna just like Injustice. It's gonna have a good story. Brainiac and Ultron team up. They become one, a mega power, and now everybody's got to team up to, defeat them. So that's gonna be the whole premise behind the game.
Woohoo! Okay.
Okay, can we go into the VR montage now?
We,
Which
we
had a
can
bunch,
actually. We
yeah,
can.
which they
Um,
started off with the Final Fantasy 15 world or whatever it's freaking called, where they show all the
uh,
characters hanging around fishing and camping.
Monster Deep is what it's called.
Ugh.
Um, it, right. For me, Final Fantasy is this. Well, it's a fantasy game, and it's gonna. And I don't get Final Fantasy characters fishing for weird-looking fish. It's almost like Mario Kart. You're taking the game Mario. We'll put them in a go-kart. It's going to be fun. We're going to take the Final Fantasy characters, and we're going to send them on a fishing trip, and we'll make it a game. It doesn't make sense. I'm not a massive Final Fantasy fan. It's not my genre. But it just doesn't make sense to send these characters on a fishing trip and just make people play it.
Mm,
It just, I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, it's
I
just,
didn't get it. I just didn't get it.
I don't know. But they showed several games in there, and another one where they're going to try and milk a freaking franchise for some more money is Skyrim VR. It's like, come on, already with this crap. Stop with the milking of Skyrim. I have yet to see good VR. None of the VR I've watched or used has met any type of preference, shall I say, hasn't met my standards of what I want
Mm-hmm.
VR to be. I think it's all odd, it's clunky, it's not there for me. So when you're taking a game like Skyrim and I've said, okay, fine, we came out with a definitive edition like everybody else has been doing for the new generation, that's fine.
Yep.
But now you've got to make a VR version, and it's like, oh, well, whatever. So the only one of the VR games out of all the ones we saw, I thought was even had the slight bit of interesting premise to it was Bravo Team. Is you're
Oh,
playing a shooter.
do you know what? I was thinking, right, which ones are you going to say? Because they're all written down in front of me. And that's the one game I was going to say. I think I don't think it's got the legs. I don't like the look of it.
I don't know. To me, it has potential.
See, for me, the one that got my interest was the Inpatient, which is the
I don't know.
the asylum one, kind of horror one. That one got me.
See now that's a game to where I think is wasted by just like Farpoint. Okay, I think it's a
Mhm.
game that's wasted on making it VR only.
Well, see,
It should have been like Resident Evil Biohazard and been VR compatible. Because
see
a
the
game
reason
like
Bravo
that,
Team.
I don't want to sit there with a thing on my head. Yes, okay, something like that. Playing a game like that, or Resident Evil, or um, what's that other one? The Outlast.
Yeah.
Playing games like that with a VR helmet on. Well, if I've still got to sit there and use a controller to move around, I'm losing the immersion.
Um. See, see, for me, the Bravo Team. The reason I, d- it may end up being really good. The reason I didn't like it is I've seen a few VR shooter, demos and stuff that are all on YouTube and the internet, and they just seem very clumsy. Do you know what I mean? You watch
They
guys
all
try to
are.
reload, yeah, and I just everyone seems to have dived into this VR. We've got to have a VR game, and some games will work in VR, but
The
you just got to be
only
patient.
the
And
only
I don't
genre
think,
that works in VR for me right now is racing.
yeah, no, I'll agree with that.
Because
But
it's just the way it is. You're stationary in a cockpit with a
yeah,
wheel, and you're looking around the car, looking to see where the other cars are.
yeah.
It works great for that. This other
I mean,
stuff,
imagine,
I can't. Mm.
imagine like any gaming, right? That we're still very, very, we're still in the baby steps of VR. But you think of the grand scheme of things and where it's going to go.
Especially
So
on console.
yeah, so like any gaming, I suppose, has to have its ups and downs, and it has to learn where it can go and where it can't go. Like the early games, like look at PS1, and the game's end to where we are now in PS4. So it is going to start off kind of rough, and eventually we'll get there. Um, but I don't think spending the money that you have to spend on the VR headset and the controllers, because you have to have the little controller things as well. You spend all that money, and then you have to spend the money on a game, and then what you get in front of you is something that doesn't really match the money you've spent to play it.
No.
So that's why I wasn't a big fan of the Bravo team. I can see where they were going with it, but I didn't think it had the polish that it should have.
I don't know. I think
consider what you're forking out for.
I think something like that though, with the Bravo team, and even a game like Farpoint, to where where you can use that gun, the move gun there, and you can actually sit there with an actual gun in your hand shooting what's on the screen or what's on the video screen in front of your face. I think using that is pretty cool. That's decent for me. But like I said, as long as I've still got to use a complete controller or these things, and I've got to control my movement with still my thumbs, so basically all I'm doing is looking around.
Yeah,
it loses it for me.
See, first-person shooters in VR, if you think they're almost going back and using older technology, using like the light gun you used to get with the Nintendo and stuff, you just get in the arcades. They've taken that now.
Yeah, well, they've taken it off the rails.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You're controlling where you're looking.
Yeah.
That's why I said, that's why to me, I have more interest in that, because now I can use this light gun and I can turn my head and so forth with the gun, and I can fire, and I can feel like I'm, a lot more control with this gun than you can with an analog stick.
There was an invention, and there's a couple of years ago now. There's a show in the UK called The Gadget Show. Might be in the States, I don't know, mate. And one of the guys, it's when Battlefield 3 came out, and they had this big rolling thing, and Andy McNabb, ex-SAS guy, on it. It's got a floor just full of like steel ball bearings. They're obviously sunk in, and as you walk, your character walks.
Yep.
And there's this vest that you can buy, and you have to plug it in and stuff.
Yeah.
And basically, it syncs up to the game. So if you're hit in the game,
with the shock
like, there's pressure pads like all through the vest.
Oh, so yeah, the one I've seen gives you little electrical shocks.
Well, this one obviously just might be a shock or whatever, or a pulse off to where you're hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you add that to a first-person shooter in VR, then I think then your immersion gets even deeper, and I like that. So if you're gonna go VR, you've got to go whole hog. You can't go half in, half out.
And the guy who invented that. The reason he ended up inventing that is because his wife got tired of him always being on first-person shooter games and stuff like that. So he ended up having to come up with an excuse for why he was playing the game so much. So he ended up having to do research to then invent this product.
Not a bad idea, is it? It didn't really take off. Why that? See, I don't know why that didn't take off.
Oh, because it's insanely too expensive. You'll never get it to market.
Yeah, but then they said they would never get VR to market.
Everybody knew VR was coming to market. But when you're talking about something that only governments or big businesses can afford to spend, a normal human being cannot. When you're talking about a system that'll cost more than your car, it's not something that you can bring to market to the masses. It's not going to happen.
Well, depending on what car you drive, you're talking about a PS4 or an Xbox there.
Maybe in the UK.
How shit a car you drive. Right. This is possibly the worst game and the most pointless. Even if it wasn't VR, the game is pointless in my eyes. And to have it on VR is just I don't want to get why it would even be there. This game, when it came on, I watched it and I thought, this looks kind of cute. But the audience didn't think so. It didn't get a single clap. Not even one of those like half claps, where you go clap and realize no one else is clapping. Nothing. It was just eerily silent in the auditorium. This is a game called Moss, where
it's crap, and I think they lost the point of their whole game. The game looks like it's made for kids, but kids shouldn't be wearing a PSVR.
You're a mouse who explores.
No, you're not a mouse. You're an entity that controls the mouse.
Mouse in it. Who you explore, you do puzzles, and you do a little bit of combat as well. and it's one of these games where maybe on paper, oh, that sounds like a great game. Let's do it. The end product made absolutely zero sense. It would actually make more sense for Gally to wear a miniskirt, heels, and a bra, singing "I Am the Bride."
It's not Halloween.
This game. This game. If I was the one who would spend...
It's junk. Now let's move on.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Right, okay.
It's pointless. It's a kid's game. It's a kid's game put on a system that should not be used by kids. There we go.
I was just sort of searching myself to try and find some understanding of why. I was really scraping the
because somebody wanted to make a game, and that was their idea, and they failed.
How'd you find an investor for that? God. Next game got a huge cheer.
It's gonna be a big seller, but again, it's nothing new. It's just
no.
I'll see a lot of the stuff that PlayStation brought to this E3 was a lot of stuff they already showed last season. So that's why PlayStation isn't getting a lot of kudos for their conference, because it was all just rehashed stuff. They didn't really bring a lot of new stuff.
Well, yeah, because it's stuff that had been announced, and then
yeah,
I mean that is the one you've hit the nail on the head there. That's one thing I did notice about the PS, thinking, oh no, I've seen this. Oh, I've seen this. So I'm thinking, why are they showing this when this was on months and months ago, like 6 months ago? I saw this trailer. Why am I seeing it now?
Well, like I said, a lot of it they already showed at E3 2016. Yeah. So they just showed a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, Gods of War. I was actually watching
God of War.
Oh, sorry, God of War. I was watching a YouTube thing of the making of it and how they actually done it and stuff. It was actually quite interesting. Obviously, these people run about with balls all stuck all over them. Hack and slash epic fantasy, where you're escorting your son. If you're a fan of this, Well,
there's a little bit more in-depth interest to this game, because they're not making it. It's not going to play like a normal game. You're gonna get some cutscenes or stuff like that, but the game is going to play fluidly without cutting away. You're not going to get different camera angles. The game is going to play at the same camera the entire game. You're not going to get different camera angles. It's not going to change. It's just one camera shot the entire game. So you're never going to pan away from over the shoulder. You're never going to get to the pan away from the side to become a 3D or 2D scroller. It's not going to do any of that. You're going to get one continuous camera shot the entire game.
Yeah, that may present some challenges.
Well, it's becoming a lot of. It's being very challenging to the developers. I'll tell you that much. There.
Why would you do that?
It's just something they wanted to do.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
But the game looks good. I think people are gonna miss some of Kratos's other weapons, because now he's of course got this magical axe.
Yeah.
I do believe it's also a different voice actor for Kratos on this one too, so it's not the original voice for Kratos.
Okay.
I'm not sure who's doing it. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. If you're really that interested, you can do it on your own.
Okay, yeah. Who said Gally wasn't helpful? Okay. Next one. Detroit Become Human. This game,
another game that was, it falls in the same line or the same genre of like Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls. As to where Heavy Rain was good, Beyond
plays
Two
a
Souls
little bit
wasn't.
different though. I mean, I was kind of interested in it.
It's a day one buy for me.
Yeah, I was kind of interested. Basically you're in the future, Detroit, city of Detroit. There's cyberhumans. It's about an android revolution, where basically the cyberhumans are setting themselves free. And the trailer itself looked. I like the trailer. I thought it looked really good.
Well, I love it because it's not. The game isn't linear. The game will play different for everybody, because not everybody will make the same decisions. So you'll always get different things.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, you have to make conscious decisions as to how you want the event or whatever you're doing to actually unfold. Now, imagine, depending on how you play the game, it may be one of these games where the ending is different depending on the decisions you've made throughout the game.
Which is
I do
exactly
like
what they
games like
did
that.
in the
Yeah,
other games,
yeah,
like Heavy Rain and so forth.
yeah. Yeah, because I played not Heavy Rain, I played the other one.
Yeah, the bad one, Beyond Two Souls.
I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I think it's the
you
first time
would,
I've played a
because
game
you're
like
weird.
that. No, it's the first time I've ever played a game like that. It was not something I would normally do, but I thought I'll give it a go. I've been like with PS4 though. I'm playing games that I wouldn't normally play, but it's these sort of games, these sort of titles that you get on PS4 and not on Xbox sometimes. But this one definitely does look good.
Well, if you're going to do that, then you need to play Heavy Rain.
Yeah, there's no mention of multiplayer. I don't think they really touched on it.
No, you won't.
I don't know if there'll be a.
It's not that type of game.
There may be a co-op. You never know.
I don't think so. No.
I think a co-op thing would work nicely. But we'll see. We'll see
no, it won't have co-op because you're creating the story. It's going to play just like the other two. It's going to be a single-player game. That's it.
But do you not think
if they do co-op, it's going to ruin it. Because I don't need to be arguing with somebody over what decisions I'm going to make.
No, but what means if they were to bring it co-op, right? So I join your lobby, right? Then I basically have to live with the decisions that you've made.
No, because you need to be able to make decisions.
Yeah, but in a sense, I'd be then playing a game where I wasn't in full control of decisions, and then you were.
Which is exactly why there's no co-op. It's a single-player only game. There's no speculation here. There is no co-op. There is no multiplayer.
I think personally, I would like it to be a co-op.
No,
so if you're listening,
it would ruin the entire experience.
So the people who made that game, if you're listening,
don't do it.
I would like it to be co-op, please. Don't listen to Gally.
Don't do it.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. The next game I'm looking forward to. Gally's very excited about. We spoke about it before on the previous podcast, I believe.
And the movie comes out next Friday.
Sorry?
And the movie comes out Friday.
What? What are you on about?
The game, the show Ender.
Oh, right. No. I was on the one before that. You've jumped. I was going to talk about Destiny 2. Right. We'll skip Destiny 2.
Why would we talk about Destiny 2? We've already talked about Destiny 2. Again, something that had its own reveal showcase. Why did it need to be on PlayStation? In other words, PlayStation had so many other things they could have talked. They could have talked about Bloodborne 2. They could have talked about The Last of Us 2. They could have brought all this other stuff. But then what did they do? Hey, let's show you Destiny 2 again.
Yes. Okay. The show Ender, which was nice, and I was actually that impressed with it. Believe it or not.
It finally looks like a decent game in this franchise.
Well, I was actually that impressed. I actually showed it to my missus, who tolerates my gaming enthusiasm so much, and she was actually impressed with it as well. And that's Spider-Man. Now it looks phenomenal. It plays smooth.
It looks like it plays smooth. You haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like one of the Spider-Man movies where the guy's, the CGI one where he's just all bendy and stuff. It plays really well. The combat looks quite fluid. I mean, I imagine it took a bit of practice to get into that kind of combat style. Very cinematic.
Yeah, doing the combinations of moves and stuff.
Yeah. Very, very, very cinematic. And multitude of different ways to either incapacitate or take down your enemies, and that was just on obviously the showcase that they had for us. How big the game is going to be, I don't know. I'd like it to be a big game, so you don't get bored really quickly. I imagine there will be some sort of multiplayer to this, possibly with DLC with other characters where you're bouncing around the city and what have you.
Why do you think there's going to be multiplayer?
Because it's one of these superhero games, and they tend to have multiplayer and stuff. And I think that sort of game, I think it would have a multiplayer. I do.
Nah.
I think it would.
Nah. I don't think it will.
Do you not think it will?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I think everybody learned of how badly Batman failed with multiplayer.
What we'll do is, right? We'll put it on a post-it note. We'll magnetize it. We'll put it on the fridge door, and we'll come back to it, and we'll see what happens when it's released. And if there's any co-op or multiplayer to it.
But again, there is a major drawback that I think a lot of people will complain about when it comes to the new Spider-Man is QuickTime events. Again, people tend to hate QuickTime events. Or should I say the masses seem to hate QuickTime events.
Um,
So I think it's going to get a little bit of undeserved being criticized that much more because of it, and I don't think it's going to be deserved. I personally have no problem with QuickTime events as long as the entire game doesn't play like QuickTime events.
I think sometimes they can be a welcome break because if you're in one of these button basher games, combat games, it can get really, really frustrating when you're that close and you're bashing away and all of a sudden you die.
Hmm.
So sometimes these quick time events are nice where you get to that point and then the game takes over. It gives you that little bit of break just to sort of
Well, and then what's what they need to do is what it seems to be is a lot of these games are learning from Batman, Arkham series, because now arguably people can argue about it. Batman probably had some of the best fight mechanics of any game ever. And this is why they also used it for Shadow of Mordor and a couple other games. They used that mechanic for those games. And to me, the Batman series, again, the best fight mechanics of any game, blended, vert, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Real time combat. They merged it well. Real time combat with quick time events. I think it was perfectly balanced.
there's something like over 100 combos, and there's a video kicking about on YouTube where somebody does a broadcast, and this is like a big fight scene on some rooftop, and this chick, some like sort of show that's on YouTube. This chick does every single combo in this little fight scenario to get this Xbox achievement. It's like a really, really rare achievement. It's one of the secret achievements. It's basically you have to use every single combo, and you can't repeat the combo in this one scene. And this chick does it after about some like 32 attempts or something. That's dedication, man.
Yeah.
That's true dedication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, good.
But yeah, the Spider-Man I'm looking forward to because it looks like it might actually be a good Spider-Man game for a change because the other ones are just crap, along with most of the movies. So
Right. So are we moving on to Ubisoft?
we don't have to talk
Bethesda?
about Ubisoft. Ubisoft had their conference. They showed off a stupid Mario and Rabbids game. Yes, I said stupid because I'm sick and tired of Mario. Mario needs to retire. He needs to go
Assassin's
away,
Creed Origins,
which was already showcased beforehand on Xbox.
Crew 2.
The Crew 2, yeah, well, we'll see if it does anything because now they're just bringing in more stuff. One I'm looking forward to, though, that they finished off the game with, their show with, is Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, a lot of us have waited over 15 years for this game to be even shown and announced. I can't wait for it. And from what I'm getting and from the information I'm seeing, is it's a prequel. This is going before the time before Jade. So if you're hoping to see Jade come, you're not going to get it. It's going to be before Jade's time, before she's even born, back when all the trouble is starting. And I don't know. Now, of course, all they showed was a CGI trailer. They didn't show anything of the game because the game's in development. There's no news of when the game might not even be out for the next couple of years. So, but something I'm just happy that they said, hey, look, we're finally doing it and we're making it.
Just put out a rumor.
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't put out a rumor. They put out a fact. Rumor. They showed the trailer for the game. So now we know they've at least come up with the concept for the game.
Okay.
So now we know the game's in development, and now it's just a matter of waiting for them to actually finish it and give it to us.
Okay. So what do you think about Far Cry 5 then?
Just another boring Far Cry game.
No, I think this one looks interesting.
Why? Because it takes a bunch of rednecks in the hills in the towns of Montana.
Maybe because of the setting of it. Far Cry 4 was lost in Nepal. 3, no, I like this one because it's more of a built-up area, and there's more reference to it. But no, I'm liking the look of this one. If not
Yeah.
just for the violence of it. Okay, steep. If you're into skiing, snowboarding, and all that sort of stuff,
Whoopity-doo.
you're an adrenaline junkie. You'll
Just a
enjoy
more
that.
advanced SSX tricky.
Yeah. Skull and Bones.
Skull and
Blarg.
Bones is something that has piqued my
Pirates.
interest, and I am going to be on the lookout for because I don't know what is it next year or something. But the concept is very interesting, and of course, it's much better than that crap Sea of Thieves that Microsoft is putting out. But this one, you basically you build an armada of pirates and you battle each other, you search for treasures. It's basically it's a multiplayer game. I don't think there's any real campaign to the game. If there is, they haven't really said anything, but it's basically a strict multiplayer to where you all team up and you're all fighting each other, and you can the British Navy and pirates, you're all fighting each other, and who wins. So, like I said, not a lot on it, but we'll see. But it piques my interest of what they've done with it.
I think it'll be one of these games that gets streamed a lot on Twitch. I think it's that sort of game.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a streamed game because that's what you're watching. You're watching basically multiplayer.
Ubisoft have announced South Park. Enough about that.
Everybody knows about South Park, Fractured But Whole, and probably one of my top 3 anticipated games. I'm really looking forward to, only because the Stick of Truth was just such a phenomenal game.
I didn't actually think you were going to go into this. I was ready just.
Oh, come on! The South Park games are some of the best games you can play.
We'll agree, disagree on that.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You don't have a sense of humor.
I'm friends with you, man.
Again, like I said, you don't have a sense of humor.
Bethesda have a
more of the same.
I don't know. You've got Prey. I've done the demo for Prey.
Don't like it.
Shocking. You know what? It's got a huge fan base, but it's shocking. I thought it was terrible.
I thought the first time they tried to make the game was crap, and now the remake of the game is crap.
Fallout 4.
No, it's not Fallout 4. It's Fallout 4 VR.
Yeah, sorry, VR. And they've also announced VR Doom. I know you're a big Doom fan.
That looks probably the most stupid VR game I've ever seen.
Now, Elder Scrolls.
Just more Morrowind, just an addition to the online.
Okay. Next pointless game, Quake World Championships.
Again,
Quake?
Strict multiplayer. That's its only purpose it's an arena multiplayer fighter, and that's all it's meant to be. It's going to be a streamed game. It's going to have tournaments. It's going to be Halo, Call of Duty type thing. It was the originator of the whole thing.
Now, I know there's going to be a game on this list that you actually do enjoy. I know which one you're going to like. The next one is Evil Within 2.
See, you know what? I have yet to actually push the start button on Evil Within, which I bought day of release. I bought it day one. I've never started it.
Okay. Right, the next one I am looking forward to because I thoroughly enjoyed the first one, and I've actually just re-downloaded the first one onto my, got to think now, Xbox, because it was going cheap. Wolfenstein. Okay, obviously they're on a remake of the Wolfenstein for the Xbox One.
This isn't a remake.
It was really, really good. They've now followed it up with a sequel called The New Colossus.
Whoa, wait. This is not a sequel to the original one. They rebooted the entire franchise. The first one was the Wolfenstein.
2, The New Colossus.
The New Blood. I forgot. This is the third game.
Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus. That's what it's called.
Well, I'm just saying, you had Wolfenstein, whatever that one was called there, that came out. You had Wolfenstein New Blood. I don't know whether it was just DLC or.
New Blood was. It was different still again because they had Wolfenstein and they released another Wolfenstein game, and it was like kind of a retro version of it. I didn't download it.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of a weird version of it. So this is
So
kind
yeah,
of
okay. Yeah,
the same
so this is the
as
second in the reboot franchise
yeah.
to do Colossus. Very interesting storyline. Just the gameplay doesn't appeal to me. I don't like, I didn't like the first one how it played out. I thought it was too
Oh, I
clunky
love
for
the
me.
first
It was too cluttered. There was way too much going on as far as inventories and guns and too much to keep track of. I thought it
one.
was just
Thoroughly
they
enjoyed it.
made it too overcomplicated for what it should have been.
But then I had it way back when it was on PS2, and I loved it then. Um,
Well, that was a
I,
whole different type
do
of
you know,
game.
I think I even had it when I had my Amstrad. When you had the old
PC. It was on PC a long
over the
time ago.
top, over the top view or something.
Wolfenstein, Wolfenstein was the originator of the first-person shooters on
Yeah.
PC. And you had your
Um,
Dooms, you had your Now Heretic, I could get behind if they ever did that one again. But you had all those type of games. It's like I said, Doom. Doom is just another one that they constantly keep trying to keep alive, and it's just ridiculous. I
well,
mean, people could call me an asshole all you want. I just think it's
okay, you're an asshole.
ridiculous to make these games. I mean,
But, do
Doom
you know,
is just
I just got that for the Xbox.
Doom is just gotta
It's
go.
sometimes I like to buy a game that I start to think about. You put it on, you do what you need to do. If you walk away from it, you can walk away from it. You haven't really lost anything. Sometimes I just like to blow stuff up. I just like to go on and just kill stuff. The movie was terrible. Doing it in VR, nah, doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's another waste of VR. Like I said before, VR at the minute is very experimental. They're trying to see what games work and what games don't. So there's going to be bad ones, there's going to be sort of mediocre ones, but I don't think there's going to be any really, really good ones. Maybe next year, once it's kind of settled down, and then start doing more research into how they can make it better. But certainly this, 2000, sort of mid 2016 into sort of 2017 is where kind of VR's broke. I think it'll be at least another year, maybe a year and a bit before we see proper decent games from the VR, I'd say.
I think we're a lot farther away than that.
Really?
Like I said, right now VR only works for racing games for me.
Yeah. Okay.
But so that's it. That's pretty much the rest of E3 in a nutshell.
Yeah. Not next year's E4. I can't believe it. Oh, E4, Jesus. Yeah, so that's E3. I'm sure there's going to be loads more for us to talk about. In the following weeks.
There'll be more information coming out. We're real close to the Destiny 2 beta coming out, so we'll be able to have some more information on all that.
I signed up for it.
You signed up for it? Oh, I got it free with my pre-order.
Wow. I'm not doing any pre-orders. I actually know somebody who has just pre-ordered Project Cars 2 for the Xbox. And
not the Xbox. No. I don't Xbox race anymore.
I am not spending £70 on a game that I love the game, but I'm doing it. The worst thing is, right, it's digital. I was in a conversation just the other day with some pals, some friends, right? And there's a bit of a debate going on. And it'd be interesting what people think about this, right? Should digital games be cheaper than going out the shop? Me, damn right they should be. You don't have to pay for the disc. You don't have to pay for the packaging. You don't have to pay for cover the delivery, anything, right? Digital should be cheaper. I don't understand the logic in why PlayStation and Xbox ramp up the prices for digital copies. But at the end of the day, it's just a code. There's no other costs they have to incur. All they need to do is just send you a code down the line and you get your license, what have you.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it happens.
Because they're assholes.
No, it has nothing to do with being assholes.
It is.
It has to do with these are the versions of our games. This is our system. If you don't like it, go play on PC, you little whiny baby.
No, you understand where I'm going with this? It doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense. You're right. It should be cheaper. It costs less to distribute a game digitally. It does.
I mean, if you have,
there is no factual. No, should I say factual? There is no argument for charging the same price digitally. It factually does not cost as much to digitally distribute a game as it does to physically distribute it.
I mean, if you were to make digital games cheaper, you could pretty much guarantee that the people that are using your console are going to shop online in your store. So you're going to get more customers.
You're also going to get more console sales.
Exactly. But no, people go, screw that, I'm going downtown.
But let's put it this way.
I don't get it nice and cheap.
I will. But let's also get this out of the way too, as far as what we're paying for. A lot of people are complaining about the price of games nowadays. You do realize that video games today are cheaper than they were 20 years ago.
In comparison, yes.
Now, a lot of people are going to hear me say that and go, what the fuck are you talking about? They're cheaper. I bought games for $20 20 years ago. If you take it in consideration, that was then what what the value of the money was and so forth. For us to only be paying $60 for a game right now is if you were spending 20 years ago, if you were buying a game to compare to today, it would cost, I think it was near $100 is what we should have been paying for a game then. So when you take into account what the value of the dollar is, what the inflation, all this other stuff, we are actually paying less for video games now than what we would have been paying 20 years ago. I understand that,
but it still doesn't answer the question why they're ripping you off online.
It's not that they're ripping you off online. It's for the same reason that they freaking charge you to play online. It's just the way it is. It's a console. It's not PC.
Talking about playing online, why?
I just do it. I don't complain.
I thought about this today actually. Right, I was sitting on the porcelain. I was on the throne, and I was having a think to myself, as you do when you're taking care of business. And I thought, for some reason, I've played Battlefield 4 came to my head, and I thought, why? Considering how the game's like 2 years old, right? Why is the DLC still so expensive for a game that's that old? Why are they still charging the price they're charging for premium?
Well, it's not really. If you're a member of EA Access on Xbox, it's not. It's free.
No, I'm talking about like the your premium. So you see all the map packs.
It's free on Xbox if you have EA Access. If you don't have EA Access, so like, yes, it's more expensive on PlayStation. But if you are a subscriber to EA Access or the PC version of EA Access, it's all free.
See, this is where
PlayStation's getting screwed on EA games. Yes.
You just need to suck it up. Go for EA and Sony. Yeah, go out, go for a pint. Right, fall out, go around the corner, have a little fisticuffs. Right, shake hands at the end of it, and make a bloody deal.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with being a deal. PlayStation doesn't feel that EA Access brings value to the customers. Even though they've been proven wrong in every aspect, they still won't admit to the fact that there's value to it.
So what you're saying is blame Japan?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard that.
Well, why do you think Nintendo's as crappy as it is? It's because of Japan.
Oh God! I got into a conversation with my better half, my wife, regarding Nintendo gaming. It's not oh no, right? Actually, I'm going to make a promise. We're not going to discuss that console that should not be discussed because it's not a console. Okay, it's not. It's a waste of money. Although all those little people in those little sweaty factories making that thing, no, for crap games, no, stop it. Just walk out, get a different job, right? I'm sure you find another job that pays you $4 a week elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? Just don't do it. So, go and work for Primark or something. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, anywho, yeah.
Yeah, Primark needs its sweatshops too.
Yeah. iPhone. No, we're not even going to go. We're not even going to start talking about products. I'll get sued, and I'll get deported from the UK over to the States and put in jail next time.
But anyway, so that's all that. Um, till we come back next time. I guess we got to research what we want to talk about next time, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, I've heard that now that E3's finished, in the meantime, there's going to be a trial of E4. So I don't know what I don't know what games they're going to do. We could possibly talk about what they're
No,
going
but
to do.
no, what? It's July now, so I do believe next month is it's either Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show. One of them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's all the same stuff, man.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Generally, one of those shows is when they bring out the other stuff they didn't show at E3. So I'm thinking when it comes to either the Tokyo Game Show, I'm thinking that's when PlayStation's really gonna bring out stuff for like The Last of Us 2 or Bloodborne 2, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they do save stuff for that. So we'll see. I'm sure there's other stuff we're gonna be researching and we'll be able to talk about and stuff that gets us angry, stuff that gets us happy. So
And there will be more gaming broadcasts when I learn to turn the music off in a game. Uh, for those who possibly watch this channel and who were on earlier, thank you for watching. It was like 13 or something. Thank you, those 13 people, for the view. But the video is no longer up there.
no.
So for the ones who made comments in the live chat, thank you again. However, because I didn't turn the music off in the game, we had to delete the video of copyright. I didn't know. Don't blame me. I'm just an Ewok. But now I know. I've been educated. So there's more streaming stuff going on.
I gotta start putting up some more broadcasts.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Gally.
Yeah.
For the viewers, I got in trouble for not putting up broadcasts.
Yeah.
But Gally doesn't do it either.
Oh no! So I guess I'll be bringing up some live broadcasts of Murdered Soul Suspect. I'll probably also be doing some of the Darksiders remastered editions. I just picked that up, so I'll be doing some Darksiders War Mastered Edition. I probably bring some
Mafia
Destiny.
3. I don't know.
Huh?
Might do some Mafia 3. I've not played that in ages, actually.
Oh, well, you could do some Mafia 3. Just make sure there's no music.
Oh, damn. That game's all about music, isn't
I
it?
know.
Oh, toss bags. Okay.
So yeah, I mean the music that's scored for the game is one thing, but just it's when you use the other songs that are actual songs that they're putting into the game. They're buying their license rights to put them in the game.
That's the thing for the game. The game is full. It's full of real songs.
Exactly. So that's where the problem comes into.
Yeah. Donkey fuck.
But
Okay.
and if you have watched some of Ewok's videos, he will be speaking more. I know he doesn't. He generally wasn't speaking a lot, but he'll be bringing that up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll try and do more. I promise.
Yeah,
I promise.
but until then, that's it. That's all we've got for today. We'll look forward to coming back with our next one, and hopefully we'll stay on schedule this time because
under 2 hours. I was watching the clock. It's like 1:33:26, 1:33:27. This is amazing.
Yeah.
The sun's not even going down yet. It's great.
Yeah, awesome. So look for our next podcast. We'll be bringing you some more of going on inside the gaming industry, of things we like, dislike, and things that are just plain wrong. So until next time, catch you later, everybody.
See you later.